And we'll move right along with our next coach from Wichita State, Gregg Marshall. His Shockers secure the number 6 seed. They will face off against the number 11 ECU Pirates in the final first-round matchup on Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. Coach, thanks for joining us. Tell us a little bit about the great streak and run that the Shockers are on right now.
Well, we've won 9 out of 11 after a dismal start, and that's to be expected if you keep working. We have a roster that 10 of our scholarship players had no Division I experience when the season started, and an 11th player played less than 100 minutes last year. So, we were pretty slow out of the gates, and we've gotten better. The schedule has lightened up to a degree in the second half of the conference schedule, and we're playing a little better. Those guys are getting a lot of experience. Ideally, you wouldn't have a team that would be that inexperienced all playing together at one time, but that's just the way our roster was composed this year, and we had to just keep grinding and try to help these guys understand, what it was going to take to win in college basketball at this level.
Thank you, Coach. A reminder to the media members, star 1 on your keypad to ask a question of Coach Marshall. Coach, most recently, especially in the past 5 weeks, you've had 3 buzzer-beating victories. What's been the difference to keep the team in the game and then be able to come out with the victory at the very last second?
Well, you have to get a little lucky to make those last-second shots, and we've had some guys step up when called upon. Samaje Haynes-Jones twice, and then most recently the freshman Dexter Dennis. You play well, you play poorly at times during the course of 39 minutes and 59 seconds. And then in the end, you either go to overtime. All 3 games were tied, so we were going to see overtime or we were going to win it in regulation, and we were fortunate enough that those guys are talented enough to make the plays that they made, and it makes a world of difference winning those 3 as compared to losing them.
Thank you, Coach. At this time, we'll open it up to our media questions.
We'll take our next question from Don Wade with the Daily Memphin.
Yeah, Greg, just curious. Jeremiah Martin and Shiz Alston have scored exactly the same number of points this season. I think they're 3, 4 in assists. When you look at those 2 guys, what's similar about them? How are they different?
Well, both can make shots when guarded. They're good one-on-one players. Obviously, they can make open shots. Most guys at this level that are good players can make the wide-open shots, but you've got a handful of guys in this league that can make baskets even when well guarded, and I would put both of those guys in that category. Jeremiah Martin has improved dramatically because he's shooting the ball better. Last year, he was really good bouncing it and driving it and getting to the foul line, but this year, towards the end, he's become a dual threat, which you have to be. He can now shoot the 3 ball at a high rate, and Shiz Alston was like that last year. He could do both of those things. So, both of those guys are just tremendous players, and obviously make their teams better because of their individual abilities. But they'll both play for pay and for a long time. Once their careers are over.
Thanks.
Coach Marshall, can you talk a little bit about the team that you're going to face up against in the first round, the ECU Pirates, and the challenges they present your squad?
Joe Dooley's just trying to rebuild that program. He's in his first year. It's very difficult, that first year, and even in the second year. You're trying to get your guys in there, and the guys that are the holdovers, try to teach them a whole new system and have a new way to defend and a new way to run offense. So he's in the midst of that, and he's got guys like Williams that can really shoot it, Gardner, who's probably had the most successful freshman campaign, and then he's got a mixture of the bigs. I know Lede hurt his knee in our game, so he's got the big foreign kid and Quentin and so anyway, they're trying to do the best they can with the roster that they inherited, and I'm sure they'll be a lot better next year. And they've won a few. They beat Cincinnati, so they're obviously very talented on a given night. So you have to just come out ready to play.
Thank you, Coach. And I believe we have one more media question.
We'll take another question from Don Wade with the Daily Memphin.
Yeah, Greg, I was just wondering if in previous years when your team was solidly in the NCAA tournament before the conference tournament started, what did you think in terms of, what you guys did in the tournament or other teams did and that affecting the seed line? And do you have kind of a philosophy on, how you think that should be weighted, conference tournament performance, either improving or hurting a team's seed line, after whatever they've done in the regular season?
I really not given that too much thought. This will be the first time in a long time that we're playing for an NCAA tournament bid in the conference tournament. As you mentioned, most of the last 7 years, we were solidly in, and so I don't know how the conference tournament affected us. We've won 2 championships, tournament championships, and we received 5 at-larges. So this is new territory for us, kind of expected with how we started the season and our roster. But, we're just going to go now and try to do the best we can in this tournament, win as many games as we can, and if we can get to Sunday, try to play our hearts out and have an opportunity to make it 8 straight in the NCAA tournament. If not, we'll probably end up in one of the other tournaments.
Coach Marshall, thank you very much for the time here this morning, and we will see you in a couple days at the FedEx Forum.
Sounds good. Thanks.